Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 22nd episode of TFF Talks. I'm your host, Danny Cook, and this evening we have another great show lined up for you. But before we begin, this show is sponsored by Classic 11 Shirts and brought to you by Crowford Media. All links, as always, are in the description below. If you are watching live tonight via YouTube, please do send in your questions and views to us, either in the YouTube chat section or to us via Twitter using @officialTFF, and we will try our very best to make sure we read them out and contribute. It all contributes to the show, so please do send them in. Like last week, if you are looking for something to listen to while scoring goals for fun on FIFA, travelling to a big game, or even if you are doing the gardening, you are most certainly in the right place. And like always, you can catch up on all previous episodes on Audio Boom now. But do not disappear, because we have a slightly different show in store for you. And for the moment anyway, I am joined by the one and only Ashley Thorpe. How are you, Ashley?
All right, thanks, Danny. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. So Ashley is the TFF Snapchat gaffer. So how's that going, Ashley?
Yeah, it's going all right. I think we had a bit of hiccup Saturday. Couldn't do it for half time because the other person who I did it in a pairing with someone, and the other person didn't have any data and couldn't log on to Wi-Fi, so we couldn't do it after half time. But it's going well. Other than that, yeah.
Technical issues, eh?
Yeah.
You're not the only one to them. Don't worry. And of course, Ashley is one of our trio of Peterborough fans, aren't you? You, Ben, and Kieran, I believe.
Yeah. We actually won at the weekend as well, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I was going to say, how's your season gone on the whole? Has it gone quite well?
Very inconsistent. It's been too inconsistent. We had a very good start, but since January, we just dropped. Probably since Christmas even, we've just dropped off and haven't been able to win many games. Haven't been able to win enough games. Lost to teams like Oldham, Bury, teams down low in the table, and just haven't been able to recover. And season's over now. Just concentrate on finishing as high as we can.
Okay, well, we will. Well, you know what? We'll try and come on to that later on in the show.
Okay.
So let's move on to the first segment, the first main segment of the show. Obviously, this week has been internationals, and obviously the home nations have been in action. But our main focus of tonight's show, well, for the moment anyway, is going to be on England. And I suppose we should start in chronological order. And England versus Germany was obviously the first fixture on England's fixture list over this past week. And so they met in, I think, was it Dortmund? Did they play in Dortmund?
Yeah, it was Dortmund.
Yes. So obviously England played Germany there. And unfortunately they lost that game. Fantastic strike from Podolski, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
his last game.
Yeah,
incredible.
What a way to bow
out. So I suppose we better start off with this then, Ashley. How would you describe England's performance against Germany?
Very positive. We played very well, especially in that first half. But I was questioning Jake Livermore being called up, but he gave a very good account of himself. The 3-4-3 seemed to work very well. Very high, like a lot of the commentators and pundits were saying, it's a good, very high pressing way they're playing, and it did look very good. But obviously, we're undone by one moment of brilliance. We can take our chances. Podolski scored a goal worthy of winning any game, and that was it.
Okay, so we'll come on to the 3-4-3 and the three at the back in due course. But I suppose Gareth Southgate could probably take encouragement from this result then, despite the loss.
Yeah, because even though it was a friendly, it was against a strong Germany side. But I think they had a lot of big names in there, even though they didn't have Neuer, but still had a good lot of strong players that would probably challenge for semi-finals of a major tournament. So it's very positive. It's just whether we can replicate that at a major tournament.
Yeah, true. I mean, obviously Germany lining up with the likes of, say, Podolski. Let's just take him for an example. I mean, he could probably, would you say he could walk into the England team? Really? A man of his talents
Possibly.
and technique?
It's one of those. It's very debatable.
Okay.
I think, to be honest, on his day he could, but not every time. I think there's a few players we've got that are probably a little better, like I think Lallana or something. But Podolski is a very good player, and I'd happily take him if he was English. But yeah, one of those just dodgy.
He sort of pops up from time to time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
As it showed. But yeah, one of the names you mentioned there, and I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with him. I don't know about yourself. Is Adam Lallana. What an incredible player he's been for England over the last year. For me, anyway, I feel this year he's just really picked it up. What about you?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been very good. I think the three, like I was saying, 3-4-3's worked well because he played the front three or that sort of formation at Liverpool. Like he plays in a role like that, so he's flourishing in that role, and to come from where he's come from as well is absolutely brilliant. And he's just one of our best players, but he's probably not our best, but he's definitely up there.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to agree in terms of, well, as I said, the last year I've been very impressed.
He's been phenomenal.
So anyway, moving on. And this is more of I suppose, a generic question in terms of England, but for me, it seems that England, like they always seem to be able to turn up in friendlies against the likes of Germany, but yet when it comes to the tournament, like the actual nitty gritty part, they seriously struggle against these sides. Is it just me, or like, am I seeing things that no one else is seeing, or
no?
Is this a common thing?
It's always been a problem. I think it's the expectation. Everyone thinks that we've got in, qualified, won every game, and qualifying for we can have a good tournament. Then with come undone with, I think Euro qualified and won every game, and then we went on to win one game in the 90th minute in the actual tournament.
Is that not then? I mean, as a fan, I feel that's quite embarrassing, really.
It's very embarrassing. I know, all credit to Iceland, but a team, I'm not trying to downplay them at all. They had a very good tournament, and like I said, all credit to them. But a team like England, with the calibre of players that England have got, shouldn't be losing to a team like Iceland.
Yeah,
a major tournament.
Completely agree, because given as well, obviously Iceland, very small nation, and they overperformed. They done so well. Well, God knows what's going on here. Someone clearly disagrees with that. Anyway, we'll carry on. But mate, obviously, like Iceland have got, compared to England, a severely sort of smaller budget, and to outperform them is crazy, really. Why do you think they're not able to do this then?
On the night that Iceland wanted it more, England were taking it easy, but Iceland weren't. They were giving it a good game, and they got the 2 goals. We got the first goal, thought, sit back and play around a bit. Then they got the 2, and we just never recovered. We just let them sit back and just defend and defend and defend, which is how they play and how they qualify. I think that's how they qualified as well. But played a very good defensive game. against bigger teams. And
you mentioned like expectation moments ago. Would you say that expectation is probably like, is that down to the media, or is that who is that? Is that us fans getting carried away?
bit of both, really. I think our best chance to win World Cup or Euros came 2002, 2004, and once that didn't happen, it was never going to happen again. But I think 2010 when we brought in Capello, I thought, oh yeah, new foreign manager, new tactics, they'll lead us out. We've got an easy group, coast through that, we'll get an easy run and get into final with players we got. But it was just ridiculous. 2012, just don't know what can't remember what went. I think we got lost to Italy.
Yeah, I think just in general, it's a disaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you look back.
Yeah. But like I said, that generation of players, 2002, 2004, we had Owen and Rooney up top at Euro 2004, and if it had not been for questionable refereeing and the old penalty curse, would have probably won that tournament.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember watching that. I'm sure you probably do as well.
Yeah, we had a goal disallowed, I think, and then just couldn't bear it, and then just bowled it in penalties.
That's football for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the formation side of things now. So we're still obviously on England, Germany, but you brought up the fact that they played a 3-4-3, and to many, a three at the back is sort of seen as quite unorthodox. So my question here is this sort of three at the back the new style for England?
If it works as well as Southgate worked it against Germany, then I can't see why not, because it's working for Conte in the Premier League. I think Spurs have sort of adopted it and they're doing well. I think Liverpool have been playing it from time to time. A few other major nations are playing with three at the back as well. So, as long as we get a good solid back three, two wing backs, but no defensive and attacking roles, centre mids that one can drop back and defend, one can go up and attack to support the front three, and have very good talent in front three and a good work ethic as well. It can be very good. Yeah, can work.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting formation playing through at the back. I don't know if you know, I'm very fortunate. I do say fortunate because I am a terrible player. But I myself and a few of my university mates, we're in a team at the moment, and we have played three at the back, and I was
nice one.
Yeah, I was the wing back in that role. So we played we played wing backs essentially. And I tell you what, the work ethic you need for the wing back roles is just unbelievable. And I feel for them, and obviously the three defenders have got a lot of work to do. But I suppose another question following on from this is, does this sort of three defenders at the back, does it show like a lack of ambition to play Germany at their own game, or is it just wanting to win the game?
Probably wanting to win the game, because look how tight we were getting to the German defence when they were trying to pass it around. We're forcing them into giving away possession, for not letting them get it to their midfield, and then cutting out a lot of play in midfield. So it was working very well. But I mean, the only thing with it is I can see why he didn't play it against Lithuania, because if it backfired, he'd have been on the chopping block within days. drawing or losing to Lithuania with an experimental formation is not on in the eyes of the England board.
So therefore, like, is this whole qualification process? Is it really like? Is it more of a hindrance to someone like Southgate? Because for me, it feels like it's not preparing England for the actual tournament. You still there? I think I've lost Ashley for a second. Go on. I think I can hear you back now. There we go. That's all right.
Yeah. Years ago, I think from that 2002 World Cup campaign, we had Germany in our group, and then we had Croatia and other big teams, Poland and Ukraine. But recently, we've had, I think, biggest test has been Switzerland and Slovakia or Slovenia. Well, they're both in our group now, and so there needs to be more of a challenge for the major nations. I think that's why they're bringing that whole Nations League thing from like 2018, 2019 to have the bigger nations playing against each other more often and having the smaller nations playing against each other more often, rather than have bigger nations just dominating, qualifying and winning 10 games on the trot, not conceding a goal.
I'm quite interested to sort of hear your take. Do you think that will be quite successful?
If it's worked well, then yeah, it can be. It'll probably come under a lot of criticism. Like, teams will probably take it easy, but if it's worked very well and everyone knows how it works and everyone knows what they need to do for it, then yeah, it can work. It can be a very good success. But it's a bit like Brexit, really. As long as I do it well, it's all right. But if I mess up with it, then we're stuck with it.
I love that. That is a great analogy. That is fantastic, Ashley. So well done for you there for getting that one in. Okay. I think that's just about it. Other than I've got one last question on this subject before we move on, and it's just very simple, direct question: is counter-attack the style for England?
That's hard to give it yes or no to. Really.
Yeah, no. Listen, if you, I wouldn't expect a yes no, to be honest. If I was asking.
Depends who we play. We can't go counter against San Marino, but we can go counter against like Brazil, Germany, Argentina, and all that. If we go counter in, like if we get a group of like Brazil, Germany, I'm trying to think of another big.
You're saying Argentina?
Yeah, Brazil, Germany, Argentina, or good footballing nations that will come at you a lot and look threatening. Then yeah, definitely go counter attacking, try and get something because we've got the pace to do it. But if it's against smaller nations, then there's no point.
Okay.
Because you could end up having a 0-0.
Yeah. So that's the end of the England-Germany segment. Please do send in your views and comments and questions on that, what we just discussed. I'd be really interested to know, to the people listening, what your thoughts are on England playing three at the back, three defenders, and whether you feel the system would work. And I suppose any sort of insights, any thoughts on why England seem to struggle when it comes to these big tournaments, but yet in friendlies, apps can pull off some amazing results. Please do let us know in the comments section. We'd love to read them out and discuss them further. But anyway, you'll be pleased to know, Ashley and of course the listeners, we have Connor Martin, who is hopefully joining us in a few moments' time. He said he's just waiting on some technical problems or so. He should be here in a couple of minutes' time, and that will be fantastic. And I'm sure you'll be quite happy to have a.
So, yeah.
You're doing a superb job so far, though, Ashley. Well done, my friend.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
So I suppose we better move on to England and Lithuania now. Yeah. So very, very, very first question on this segment. Does the performance matter when you get all 3 points?
In the long run, in terms of qualification, no, because we've got the 3 points. But in the short term, it's still going to get criticised because you can't play. It's just boring. It'll put people off going a lot. If we turn up like that again, it'll be
okay. No. I get you. I get
every. Yeah, sorry.
Go on.
But it was typical England. Like, you could have predicted how it was going to go. It would be England. We wouldn't be very good. We'd play it around a lot. We'd have a lot of possession, and we'd score 2 or 2, 3, 4, and they'd have like one decent chance, but we'd keep it out. Just very predictable, but can't really mind about it because we got all 3 points in the end. So
yeah, and just on that, in terms of, we've already brought them up once, but the media, how much of a role do they have in all this?
A lot, because they obviously they everything's controlled by the media, pretty much. So media influence on the game at the current this current point in time. So everyone's getting criticism from the media, whatever they do, and media criticism can make or break someone's England career, as shown with Steve McLaren, Wally with Wally. Although, to be fair, he broke his own career by getting us knocked out by Croatia.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fantastic because right on cue is Connor Martin, who is a sports broadcasting student at UCFB Wembley. And you know what? I want to get Connor's take on this. Connor, are you there?
Even Danny, how are you?
Oh, yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Yeah, are you sure you're all right? Your mic sounds like you.
Well, does it sound like a metal?
It sounds very staticky.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Do you want us to come back to you?
Yeah, I'll try and sort it now.
Yeah, okay. We'll come back to you in 2 minutes. I'll keep that question there.
Yeah.
Pop me a message when you're done. So I'll go back to Ashley now. Sorry, Ashley.
No worries. So
yeah, obviously we're on England, Lithuania, by the way, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
So on this now, did the high-profile friendly, being Germany, obviously the German game, did that overshadow this qualifying match? Ashley?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No. It's all right. Go on.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? What?
Didn't
Why?
get that.
Go on.
Because we performed so well against Germany, but everyone's expecting everyone to just go in and just completely steamroll Lithuania like 7-8-0. But so everyone was like, "Oh, well, why didn't we?"
Yeah.
So.
Fair point. Okay. Let's see if he's sorted his mic. Please, Connor. Please be there, my friend. Oh, there we go.
No, is that better now? Is it, or is it the same?
It's about the same, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Oh, then, all right.
I'll just I'll lower you down so you're not so sharp. There we go.
All right, sound.
So yeah, I was just asking Ashley there. I don't know if you heard. Basically, does the high-profile friendlies, such as a Germany game, does that sort of overshadow these qualifying matches?
I think, like, I can see why people would think it would have like an effect like that. But I mean, to be honest, when it comes down to qualification, I think, like, if they didn't have such high-profile friendlies, then maybe the players would see perhaps better performances in qualification games. I mean, like yesterday, England got the job done, but it wasn't the best of performance. It was still boring. Well, I think they played probably a bit better against Germany. They raised a game where it should be like the other way around, personally. You should be saving your best performances for like games that matter. I mean, sure, it's a big game against Germany and all that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything at all, really.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair comment there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Connor again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there will ever come a point where these high-profile games? Oh, I've already actually said that they'll overshadow the qualification process. But is there? I mean, what can UEFA and FIFA, what can they do to ensure that these qualification processes aren't overlooked by these friendlies?
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, it's a tough one because you get more and more sort of lesser European countries come into England's group, like the likes of Malta. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if maybe the groups are seeded further, so the top teams are drawn in the group with each other more. That's the only way I can see it being more interesting for fans to look forward to, rather than the odd friendly against France or Germany or Holland or something like that. Rather than like a game against Lithuania or San Marino or whatever like that. I mean, yeah, definitely there needs to be a change there, I think.
Okay. Let's bring in Ashley now. Ashley, is there anything they can do?
I think I agree with Connor on that. Really, just having the bigger teams in, so it's more. There's more balance to make for a better game. So, but then I think they're doing like pretty much like that Nations League thing they're doing, but just extend it even more. Like have more teams in a division. Like, well, because I think the way they're doing it is having 3 teams in it, and they play 2 games against each team. Maybe have that as five big teams, maybe. But then you come to a tournament. If they did that and then come to a tournament, you'd have, don't know, you might have a really small nation there against 3 big nations in a group. But I think they'll probably cross that bridge when we come to it. Really.
Yeah. And I'll just go back to a previous question. I was trying to ask you, Connor, before your mic and all that, but that's all right. I'm glad you're here now. That's the main thing.
Oh, you charmer.
Oh, listen, I'm always appreciative of you guys coming on, and to have someone with such a poetic voice like yourself, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Making me blush.
Anyway, Connor, obviously, I queued you up as a sports broadcaster student at UCFB Wembley.
Yeah.
In terms of just prior to that queue, we was talking about the role that the media play in, I suppose, England and their sort of expectations to win games, win every game, sort of thing. What's your thoughts on the media side of it? Is there that sense of expectation?
Yeah, I think there definitely is. And like you said, I think every tournament England gets to, the players, like without fail, seem to crumble underneath the pressure. I mean, like I know they say the Premier League's the best league in the world, and the lads who are from England can claim that are supposed to like go out and do the business on the international stage. But like you said, the media, it's got such a what's the word? They've got such a big figure in the sporting world. Like what they say is gospel. They expect so much of the team.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think like if you go back a few years, like the 2006 World Cup, I think you saw it at its height there with the Wags, and the Rooney was sort of in his best form of his career, you'd say, and England should have done so much better than getting knocked out in the quarterfinals that year. That team, even the Euro 2004, the media pressure around there, I think, was at its worst. I mean, it's got better and it's got worse between the years now, but I think definitely over the last 20 years, even going back when David Beckham got sent off in France in 1998, I think the media pressure started then, and it's just grown and grown, and it's affected England over the years, really.
Yeah, and Melvin, obviously one of our regular panelists, he's obviously keeping tabs on the action tonight, and he's put in the live chat. I think the word you was after there, or the word he suggested anyway, was influence.
Yeah, that's
which
definitely.
And they've also put a couple other comments, Melvin, a couple others, Essay and David, and we'll read them out shortly. So don't worry, guys, I have seen them. But yeah, you've made a fantastic point there about the media. So I'm glad we've got someone of your caliber on to do that as well. So thank you, Connor. Moving on. Well, I'm gonna aim this at Ashley first. Ashley, let's take things back to the pitch. What did you make of Jermaine Defoe's return to the England setup?
Very good. I've been wanting him back for a while because he's been one of the best been one of the best strikers in the Premier League for a while. Even when he was at Toronto, he was scoring, and he's come into his Sunderland squad and he's been scoring lots. So he can still do it, but no manager, Roy Hodgson, wouldn't give him a chance at England. And now Gareth Southgate's come in, is sensibly put him in, and it may only be one goal against a weaker side, but it's still a goal, and it's still the confidence from that goal that could help him revive his England career.
Yeah,
and it's good for the younger strikers as well, like having that experience behind him.
Yeah, let's bring in Connor. Connor, what did you make of Defoe and his return?
Yeah, I also liked for him. I mean, he's always been a goal scorer, really, hasn't he? For West Ham, Spurs, Sunderland, he's always managed to get goals, and like I think England have missed the trick over the years where he hasn't played such a bigger part in the international team. Yeah, I mean, like he just proved what he does best yesterday by scoring, and it was quite early on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and yeah, just proves he can still score goals even at 34.
Okay. Do you think that he could cement a place in the team? Like, is there still a place for him, Connor, even when the likes of Harry Kane returns from injury?
Yeah, I'd say there still is, but I don't think he's a starting player now. I think he's more of a lad that you bring in with 20 minutes to go just to get a goal, if it's still goalless or you're 1-0 down. Because 9 times out of 10, he's got the ability to get that goal.
Ashley, do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think he definitely should be brought in for goals, and he knows, like I said, he knows where the net is. So it's just, why haven't we been calling up when we've needed goals, major stage?
Okay. And Well, actually, I've got a question later on about Jamie Vardy, so I'll save what I had planned for that later. So don't worry about that for now. Let's move on to another player who I think was largely highlighted as one of the star performers in that game, and that was, of course, Michael Keane. Um, so I suppose, Ashley, do you feel that he has a future in this England team?
Definitely. I think he like Cahill was suspended this game, so he had to start. But even without Cahill suspended, he could still be a good part of England's setup, because what other centre backs do we have of that calibre? We've got John Stones. I think our best two at the moment probably John Stones and Gary Cahill. Jagielka's past it. I don't think he's going to play much again. John Terry's been past it for a while, and I think that's nailed on for the rest of the season. I think the rest are just pretty average. It's shown because Smalling and Jones are inconsistent and are injured too often. So if the injuries keep up for Smalling and Jones, then I think Keane's got a very good shout of being in the Russia 2018 squad, and especially if he keeps up his good.
Okay. Now, is it a case of us, obviously England, having a lack of quality centre backs, or is it a case of this guy is outstanding, he should be playing?
A bit of both, because it's good that he's been called up, because it shows that, considering people who don't play for the big clubs, rather than just going for big names and big clubs, because that hasn't worked. Because there's been times where we called up players that have just been there for the big clubs, but they've been poor. So I think it's good. It's good to have him, and I think he's been putting in very good performances for Burnley, and I saw him a lot last year as well. He was putting in good performances for them in the Championship. So I think it's more on his form rather than injuries.
Okay.
I think he was in the squad before Jones got injured as well.
Yeah, he was. Jones, I believe, was withdrawn because of injury. So afterwards, so yeah, I think you are right there. Obviously, Melvin, I've just seen your comments. Anyone watching and listening in, feel free to send in your comments, and we will read them out shortly. I have noted them, so don't you worry. They are coming up just at the appropriate times. So I'm going to bring in Connor. Once again, Connor obviously was still talking about Keane.
Mm-hmm.
Did he stand out to you?
Yeah, I thought he looked quite comfortable, to be honest. I mean, he's still quite a young lad at 24, and he's obviously played a couple of games for England now in the first team. But yeah, I thought he looked comfortable. He looked solid, and he looked unfazed really. And I think it's quite promising. See, if they've got to go to things like Cahill and other centre backs and defenders, I think he'll be definitely in the squad for the World Cup next year. So yeah.
Okay, and just moving it on, because actually he comes under my next question, which is obviously we talked about two players. We took Defoe and Keane. What about Vardy as well? Another name to chuck in the mix. All three are arguably involved in a relegation battle. Granted, Vardy's at the upper end of that.
Mm-hmm.
But is it concerning, therefore, Connor, that we're plucking players from sides lower down the table? Whereas what 10 years ago we was looking at players only from top half.
I mean, I don't think it's that concerning. I mean, to be honest, it's only if it was a couple of players from like Burnley making the England team, then I'll be concerned. Though it's only individuals like Keane, Vardy from Leicester. There's no other England internationals really in teams low down the table. And with this squad England have now, I don't think there's too much of a reason to be concerned with. I think it's a good young side, and it's just going to get better and better, really.
Would you say is therefore? So you're saying it's obviously not a bad thing. Is there any sort of positives you can take from it? So, like for example, some may feel that these players that are down the bottom end of the table have got more fight and more guts about them. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd say it adds to the national team's performance. I mean, like perhaps with players who play for Chelsea or Spurs or Arsenal, they're not used to, like you said, they're used to having an easier time than teams like players from Burnley. Like you said, the fight and the desire to win is perhaps more built in them players, and hopefully it would showcase when they play for the country.
Okay, let's bring in Ashley. Ashley is a connoisseur of League One football. Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
You've seen plenty of player in your time, I'm sure, that have shown guts and passion. And
Yeah.
I mean, is it therefore a good thing or a bad thing that this is happening?
It's a very good thing. It shows that we're actually bringing in players who want to play and actually have rebuttal, rather than players who are just there because they're at big clubs and because of the influence. Like if Gary Cahill was a bad game for Chelsea, he's still in the side and they could probably still win 4-0, 4-1 or something, even if he has a bad game. But if Michael Keane has a bad game for Burnley, they lose usually. So, but if Michael Keane has a good game, they keep a clean sheet and he's battling well. So it's good to have a bit of fight and a bit of battle with those three players that you mentioned. So
yeah, and I mean, this a quick question to chuck in. Obviously, we've had Roy Hodgson and managers before that who have, I suppose, selected on maybe club stature, maybe favoured some club stature. Do you feel that Gareth Southgate has sort of gone along with that? Has he gone against that? Is it the right thing to do? Fill me in. Ashley, what do you think?
I think the team he selected for this break, he's gone with what he knows. He knows the under-21s, and that's why he's called up Redmond, Ward-Prowse, Keane, and the other. And are there any others from the under-21 from his under-21 time, or?
I think the two main ones were Redmond and Ward-Prowse.
But he knows those players, so that's why he's called them up. So, and it's just good to have a bit of relief, bit of extra bite in that, because he's gone with what he knows, and he obviously wouldn't select them if he didn't think they were good enough to play for England. So, if he felt they weren't good enough to play for England, he wouldn't select them at all.
Yeah, okay.
It's just relieving to have someone that's not afraid to dip into the under-21s. It's like Hodgson. I think Hodgson kept Redmond in there for a few years and didn't call him up. Same with Ward-Prowse, and it's just a shame to see that talent or prospective talent being wasted in the under-21s when he's come in and he's done a good job against Germany.
Okay, well, we will park that debate for now because our next segment is on Gareth Southgate. So more of that will come up, and I have actually listed Redmond and Ward-Prowse as one of the questions. So, keep that on pause for the meantime. I've got one more question on this segment before we're done. Before I read that out, we've got a couple of comments come in. These ones were from a little bit earlier on. So we've got Melvin saying Adam Lallana is a GOAT or GOAT.
Greatest of all time, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be that. I was going to say that's a very that's a capitalized goat there. That's got to be
Bold.
important. Yeah.
Bold statement there by Melvin.
David's also commented. He said that Defoe is the best English striker. Do you guys agree with that one?
Harry Kane for me.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, I'd have to say Harry Kane as well.
Okay, that's fine. I'd probably agree with you as well. I like Defoe though. Defoe,
Yeah,
he's a very good player. And essay in regards to a question far back in the show, in which I asked Ashley, does the performance matter when you get all 3 points? He puts, seriously though, results don't matter in the short run. So SA has that view there. Okay. We've got a couple of questions. Melvin, Liam, and Melvin and Liam have sent theirs in. We'll save them to a little bit later on. We'll just finish this last one off. I don't know. Do you guys listen to BBC Radio 5 Live?
Now and then.
Now and then?
Yeah, every now and then. Not much, but when I can.
Yeah, I would say I'm about the same. But something came up on my Facebook feed yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it. Basically, a caller obviously called in to BBC Radio 5 Live. Savage was on the receiving end of the call.
God.
Yeah, as you can imagine. And but anyway, this caller was calling in, and he complained about the lack of atmosphere at Wembley Stadium during England games. I'm going to start with Ashley here because Ashley, you're obviously Northern based, whereas Connor and I are Wembley based, so we could probably give a slightly different perspective, should we say, on this. So I want to start with you. Do you feel that this is an issue, and what could be done to resolve it?
It is a bit because you saw the Germany, the away games. Our fans are brilliant. Like it's a Germany game, we were singing throughout with some songs that some people would say dodgy, considering the timing of the event, timing of it, but it's still we're singing, giving passion. But the home games, it's just that, and it's just the band. So I mean, it's a lot to do with how the FA do with prices. There's a lot of family tickets going around. Not saying that's a bad thing. It's good to have families going to England games, but there's a lot. But if more people got behind the national team, like more fans of clubs, like we're singing more fans that sing a lot, got behind the clubs, got to England games, create a better atmosphere, then it'd be very for the stadium because it'd bring back that Wembley roar. Because I think that video keeps getting shared of England of the '96 Euros where I don't know, I can't remember who's trying to sing the national anthem, but the crowd just drowns them out straight away. Why can't we have that back again?
Yeah, I bet that was a special moment for the players, for everyone really. Okay, let's bring in Connor now. Connor, as I've queued you up, already said you obviously study in Wembley, and like myself, and I take it you must have. I'm sure you've been to a Wembley game at some point.
Yeah, I mean I've been there watching England. I've been there
watching QPR, weren't you?
Yeah, when we got to the playoff final. I mean, I'd have to say that you definitely do notice the difference from the England game compared to a final where your club's involved. I mean, like you said, there's probably the country's a bit fed up with the England team. Maybe that's why the atmosphere is affected. That's what I personally believe. I mean, people go with their families, and like as much as there's families and football fans there's not many proper proper fans who go with their club week in, week out, and would generate a better atmosphere. I think. I mean, like I said, I think people still value how their club does over their country. So maybe when they go to Wembley and create an atmosphere, they believe there's a lot more on the line. Maybe that's what I personally think.
Okay, that is a very that's a very interesting point about the club over country debate. We always that always seems to come up. So I'm glad you brought that up. But I mean, we're obviously talking atmosphere and stuff like that. Connor, you must have you've definitely been on a stadium tour. You've definitely been on a stadium tour during your time at uni. I mean, obviously going there and being inside the stadium, and when we're having lectures and stuff like that. I don't know about yourself, but I can hear. There's like you usually get groups of 30 walk through the tunnel.
I think they play all the trumpets and all of that.
Yeah, and
then
crowds,
bro, yeah.
Then they do a fake sort of "Hello Wembley," and actually, to be fair, considering it's like 30 people, it generates some noise, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I don't get it. Because I've been to these games. I've been to, obviously, the England-France game last year, and that was obviously incredibly emotional given the time.
Yeah.
But I don't get it because when I go in person, the atmosphere is great. For that game, it was electric, really.
Yeah.
But on TV, you get nothing, and I hate to say it, but it is like when you watch it on TV, I don't know what it is, but it just sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it just sounds so like you'd be like it's easy to confuse it with a game like a cricket match. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that quiet. Like I honestly don't know what affects the atmosphere. Like I actually said, it could be the facts. Like if a big team comes and plays at Wembley against England, then maybe like, for example, back in November when we had Scotland here, that was England's biggest game since France probably at Wembley. And the atmosphere in that, like you must have seen it yourself, Danny. Like the whole place was buzzing, and the crowds for the national anthems. But when you get like a lesser country like Lithuania, there's literally nothing. It's like a night out at the opera. The atmosphere just drops. Like it's frustrating, really. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Okay. We've got to move on. You know what? I would love to debate this once again. And you know what? I think it will come up time and time again anyway. But we're going to move on. And we're obviously talking Gareth Southgate now. Keep the questions coming in. Keep the views coming in and comments. We'll read them out at the end. One question which I had written down, and actually Liam Jury, who is trying to get into the Hangouts call, who's currently struggling. Technical problems as usual. What can you say? But anyway, his question, which is also one I've got written down, which is: do you feel Gareth Southgate, the appointment of him, is the right appointment? So let's start with Ashley.
Yeah, because he's got, even though it's under 21 level, he's got good experience at major tournaments, and he knows a lot of the players better there. So, and he knows how good they are, and he's a good man manager as well. He knows that if the players aren't playing, he'll drop. He's got the balls to drop them. Not like Hodgson, who didn't when Rooney wasn't performing, wasn't taking him out of the squad. But Southgate's probably one of those managers that would drop someone if they're not playing well enough. But we haven't come to that yet. So
okay, and Connor. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I'd have to agree, to be honest. I mean, when he was first appointed, I thought, oh no, here we go again, another average manager. But I'm starting to see the light. I mean, he's got England playing not great football, but it's okay. But it's getting better. And like Ashley said, he knows the players and he knows the younger lads coming through. And he's also a good manager as well. So hopefully things will click into place in the long run.
Okay, just to play devil's advocate here, Ashley, you mentioned obviously Hodgson. Now, I've got written down, I had this scripted anyway, but he, obviously Gareth Southgate, he adopted a rather counter-attacking sort of approach against Germany, in my opinion anyway. But I don't feel he's the first, he's obviously not the first manager to do so. But I don't know if you can recall England's last visit to Germany, in which Roy Hodgson was obviously the gaffer. He adopted the same sort of approach.
I don't remember much of that.
Don't you?
No, I think I was at work for that game, so I was watching bits of snippets of it while I was working. I think I watched the goal go in, the die goal go in.
Fair enough. I'll let you off. What I was going to ask, this is the real meat of the question here, is with this in mind that Hodgson has done this previously, is Gareth Southgate a successor to Hodgson? So is he just a continuation of that sort of style of manager, or is he an individual with fresh ideas and philosophies?
Oh, like I'd like to say he's an individual. I think he's a bit different to Hodgson.
A bit different,
yeah. They're similar traits, but I think he's going to be a better manager as he gets older.
Okay.
And yeah, like he's got the fresh ideas England needs, I think.
And let's bring in Ashley. Ashley, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, he's good.
I think we lost Ashley.
For years.
Oh no, is he back? Yeah, he's back. There we go.
Hello.
Sorry,
yeah,
mate.
is it good? It's alright. I think it's my Wi-Fi, to be honest.
Don't worry.
But it's a good refreshing touch to an England side that's been boring for a while. So it's good. Well, good. We got a manager who's not afraid to pick who he wants, and pick who he wants on merit rather than on reputation.
Yeah, I do apologise there if you're hearing shouts or anything like that. I'm not in the middle of a football match, but my flatmates, obviously Connor, you know Finn, so I mean that's it's Finn, so it's going to be loud. But yeah, I think they're watching. We had one of our games recorded the other weekend. I think they're watching it back, which is quite funny. But anyway, enough of our game. Final question on Gareth Southgate, and then we'll go to the stuff that's been sent in very quickly. This one is just a quick question, and I suppose I'll go Ashley first this time. Ashley, is the Gareth Southgate great for embedding the next generation of English talent into the first team?
Yes, because of his role as the under-21 manager, he's like I've said a few times, he's not afraid to dip into the under-21s, and if a player's playing with the under-21s is playing very well, then he can pick them because he knows who they are, he knows how they can play because he's been there. So I think I don't know who'll be next through the under-21s, but they should be pretty decent because of the influence of Southgate.
And Connor?
Yeah, like I'd have to agree. He knows lads in the youth set up, and he's not trying to bring them through. And in the end, I think it was produce, get England playing better football with younger players who want to play for England, and I think it'll be quite exciting to see what happens.
Yeah, we will have to see. We'll have to wait and see the effect that he has. But yeah, I have to agree with you there, chaps. I think he's going to have a good influence on the youngsters coming through. Let's just go to the comments and questions sent in. So, Melvin, this is going to be a very quick question, which you can have a think over whilst I read out the other comments. But he sent in a question: if you could bring up one England under 21 player to the main squad, who would you bring up and why? So I'll give you guys some time to think about that. whilst you do, Melvin also goes on to say Southgate brought and started Keane and Livermore. He's not choosing on club stature. SA says in regards to his previous comments about results, he said, I meant results as in the style of play. So to say if you play badly but still get a result, then how the team plays doesn't matter. Okay. Have you guys had any ideas?
It's tough.
It's tough.
Any names sort of stand out? You don't have to bring up one, just any names.
Like I said, Harry Winks. He's doing all right for Spurs. I mean, we'll have to see if he's good enough to break into the first team yet with England. But like I say, he's on the borderline of staying the claim for the national team.
Okay, and Ashley, anyone for you? Okay, I think we lost Ashley again.
Yeah, hello.
He's back again.
Yeah, I'm back. Yes, my Wi-Fi keeps dropping.
It's fine. Don't you worry. My Wi-Fi here is terrible, so don't you worry at all. Come on.
Shooting holes in it.
Yeah. Got him. What player for you?
I can't think of one. Like Harry Winks is a good one. Like Connor said, because he obviously he's been doing well for Spurs. Also, but I can't nail it on one really because Harry Winks, Chalobah, and Loftus-Cheek have all been doing well. I think Chalobah and Loftus-Cheek were very impressive when Peterborough played Chelsea in the cup, even though it was only against Peterborough in League One team, but they were still very impressive. So I think if Southgate if they get more games for Chelsea, those two, then I can see him breaking in. But at the moment, and for Spurs, every now and then, Harry Winks has got to be up there. And if he can do it at Premier League level, he can do it for England. In theory, anyway. So,
well, we'll have to see if that theory pays off. But very quickly, this is literally the last question from Liam Jury. Just yes/no answers to this. Can England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Republic of Ireland all qualify for next year's World Cup? I'm going with no. As much as I'd love to see it, Scotland, unfortunately, are in a bit of a pickle at the moment. So that's a no from me. Anyone want to go on?
Yeah, I'm going to go with no, but I'd say England, Northern Ireland, and the Republic will be there and be involved.
So what? So no Wales?
No Wales, nah.
No Wales.
Missed out. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I might be a bit biased with Ireland there, but I think Ireland will kick on now. They just need a few more points, and they've got the playoff place. So hopefully,
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Ashley?
No. Scotland aren't going to qualify. I can turn down Scotland. I think I can't see Republic and Wales qualifying. I think Northern Ireland will. even if it's through the playoffs. They're not top in Germany in their group, but definitely not Scotland and one of Republic and Wales.
Yeah, as much as I'd love to see it, as I said, just can't see Scotland doing it, unfortunately.
Too much to do.
Yeah. Anyway, that's. I mean, I can't believe it, but that time has literally flown by. So
time goes fast when you're having fun.
It certainly does.
Exactly.
But before we go off air, as always, the general tradition, you're more than welcome to share your Twitter bios or Twitter handles, should we say. So, Connor, do you want to kick us off with your Twitter handle?
Sure, yeah. My Twitter is Connor J. Martin 96.
Fantastic. And Ashley?
4 people 96.
Brilliant. And mine is at Danny Cook 1996. I just noticed we're all 96, aren't we? All
yeah.
Fantastic. What's the chances of that?
Beautiful.
Well, I have to say this, chaps. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you have both been superb, especially Ashley for coming on from the start. I really do appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries, Danny.
No problem. No problem whatsoever. You've been listening to the 22nd episode of TFF Talks. I've been your host, Danny Cook, and this episode was brought to you by Crowford Media and sponsored by Classic 11 Shirts. Have yourselves a very fantastic evening.